when she found out it involved a party at Sun Lakes, she didn't want any part of it. Anyway, I'd like to introduce my sister, who came from Lubbock. She's the only other
sibling.
Don't do that. The only other member of our family here. And her son, Jimmy, who lives in California, and her daughter, Mary, you did this to me. She's in Lubbock too. They both live in Lubbock. Well, somebody said I need to explain how I met Christa. And what's that? Well, it wasn't quite that bad. No, she was, I was, in 1962, I thought I would go to the World's Fair, which was in Seattle. And after I did that, I went down to Edwards Air Force Base. I was at the academy on a program called Third Lieutenant. And she was running for Miss Edwards Air Force Base. She doesn't remember it. But anyway, I remembered it. And so anyway, I somehow wangled a way to meet her because she was hobnobbing with the people, the 7 astronauts, remember those guys? So she's hobnobbing with those guys. And I was just a lowly visitor on the base, technically. And matter of fact, when she told her mother she'd met a cadet, that has a bad connotation in German. Cadetten is what, a playboy or Casanova? So it kind of fit, really. Because I was working pretty hard to figure out a way to meet her. But anyway, that finally did take place. And let's see, that was 1962. And roll back a couple of years, when John Kennedy was inaugurated in Washington, I was one of the guys that got to march in the parade, and I say got to because we had to. And it was a horrible day, if anybody remembers that. About 6 inches of slush on the pavements. And the Naval Academy, they were marching in front of us, and they had some sort of gouache outfit on their shoes, and a lot of them were getting pulled off. So here we are tripping along in this muck and carrying rifles, and it was, I don't know, 40 degrees probably. Anyway, it was horrible. But that night I got to escort Secretary McNamara's daughter to the ball. So I guess the upshot of that is I kind of felt some sort of identification with the Kennedy situation. Well, in 1963, of course, it says in there that he came to our graduation. And I had invited Christa to come, and I thought, holy cow, you know, here's all this hype and everything going on, and this is my chance to really impress her. After all, Jackie was there. And I don't know if Christa actually met her, but anyway, that was an occasion. Okay, and yes, I did propose to her, and yes, she accepted, and here we are 50 years later. And I don't know, as soon as all that hype was over, as you men know that are in the military, the next step was all of a sudden I'm a second lieutenant, non-rated, making very little money. So we go from the Kennedy thing down to nothing. And so that was quite a step down. So I've been scrambling ever since, trying to make up something. And but it's been fun. obviously have two wonderful children. 3. Let me finish this drink. I don't know why I said that.
Which one did you like?
3 went into 2 somehow. But anyway, they are all very successful. And we're very proud that they've managed to miss a lot of the potholes in the street that have affected a lot of other kids their age. We all know the stories with everything from alcohol to drugs and everything, all the bad stuff. And they've avoided all of it. And here's the reason.
At least they didn't find out. So you did.
No, we all know that, the ladies had a mission, and she did a wonderful job with those 2 kids.
Good job.
People always ask me, well, what were you doing in the United States way back then? I'll have to tell you this. Well, wait a minute. Well, I tell you what, when I was 14 years old, my mother's younger sister, my Aunt Annalie, actually was liberated from a concentration camp by an American soldier, my Uncle Ray. So he was my American connection. He proposed to her. He fell in love with her. Her first husband was Jewish, and German people were not allowed to associate with Jewish people. She would not be Muslim, so they put her in a concentration camp with German people that associated with Jewish people. Sad story. When American soldiers liberated Germany, he was one of the soldiers that liberated her from the concentration camp, fell in love with her, proposed to her about 8 months later because he was stationed in Germany, brought her to the United States, and they lived happily ever after. They came to Germany to visit occasionally, and he was stationed in Germany. So I was 13 or 14 years old, I don't remember exactly when, and they invited me to spend the summer with them at one of the American bases in Germany. Well, it just happened to be the year that Elvis Presley was also at that same base. So I accepted that tour to an American Air Force base practicing my English. I had never met Elvis Presley, but I sure thought, gee, American boys are cute. I think someday I'm going to go to the United States and maybe study there and visit them. Well, I had an opportunity to study in England for a year, and then I was going to continue my education in the United States, and my aunt and uncle said, why don't you practice your English first and come and visit us at Edwards Air Force Base, and that's how come I met Don. So I was visiting, staying with them for about 3 months. I actually extended my visa. I was able, some of us all know what a green card is and all of that. I had all of that. It took a whole year before I had one of those. And I was working for a general on base as a secretary. And I was so I hung around at the officers club a lot. That's really where I met him. And then when the story he told you that I have not even told my children, is somebody volunteered me to run this Edwards Air Force Base. I didn't even know what I was getting into. I didn't win. The general's daughter won, right?
That makes sense.
You got ripped off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But so I met Don he was leaving, he was just about ready to leave his tour Edwards to go back to the Air Force Academy to finish his last year. And I met him 2 days before he left. So those were the good old days when every weekend he would call me and say, I'm flying out. I'm catching a ride on the general's plane. Those were the good old days. There's an empty seat, and I'm going to come out and see, can you pick me up at Riverside? Where's Riverside? Oh, that's not far from Edwards. Go check with your uncle. I'm sure he'll help you come and get me. And so we dated for almost 6 months when he asked me to come and to the graduation at the Air Force Academy. A long story. So I accepted. I had no idea what I was getting into. The first thing he said to me, an envelope twice the size of this with protocol, what I had to do to be a date of a cadet at the Air Force Academy and to go to all of those ceremonies. It was how to dress, what to wear, what not to wear, a hat if you're out in the parade area. If you're meeting the First Lady, Jacqueline Kennedy at the time, it was announced that she was going to be there. And you had to curtsy, and if you wore a short sleeve dress, you had to wear gloves up to here. And it was just amazing. I said, oh my goodness, I'm good. First of all, what am I going to, I'm not used to this journey. Oh, and I have to wear a hat. I felt like I was meeting the Queen of England, you know. But it was quite an experience, and I'm proud that Don proposed to me. I did fall in love with him right away, but I didn't want him to know that. So I played hard to get. So, if I did have a difficult time explaining that to my parents in Germany, that I was never coming back home. It's a big step I was taking. So. But we're happily ever after. Thank you, children, for planning this wonderful party, and thank you for all attending, and wonderful friends here in Arizona. And it's all about family and friends, I think, and living life to its fullest. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Very nice.
I don't know how we're supposed to follow something like that.